Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of TFT Hyperroll with Artark, and this is a video I have been wanting to do for a while, and is the reason I was grabbing a bow off of every carousel I could possibly manage to grab a bow off of. I think it's also the reason why people end up crowding around the bows. You may or may not have noticed that, but there is a build that is a lot of fun to make. It requires some special circumstances to come up, and once you get it, it's a lot of fun, but don't force it. Please don't force it. I did it for you guys, so this would be entertaining, but it can cost you a lot of LP to kind of push this through, because everything has to fall into place. So it is time for our first augment, and there's nothing really interesting in this first group, so we're going to go ahead and re-roll. We get the chance for the Tome of Traits, which is what I decide to go for because it might help me on my quest to do exactly what I want to do. I open the Tome of Traits, and it has a Swiftshot emblem, which is what I need to make this happen. Now, it doesn't necessarily give me everything I need, so for the moment, I'm just going to put the Swiftshot emblem onto Olaf and stick him out there so I can hopefully win a couple of rounds as I try to put this together. Now, this first round is kind of a throwaway because I have absolutely no cohesion. They at least have two Cavaliers, even though one's a Ragewing who's turned into a Cavalier, but they have a couple of 2-stars against just my mishmash here. But I have a plan, and I'm going to make it happen. And it involves picking up Leona and then hoping I can get the right champion. So AD is going to be critical to this build, so either the BF sword or the sparring glove will work here. I'm ultimately going to opt over to the BF sword because it has more possibilities. I also get the exact champion I needed, and yes, you knew it from the thumbnail, but this is going to be Swiftshot Yone. And I'm sure you have run into someone playing this insanely annoying comp, but it is just so much fun to play once you get it completely set up. Now, I am not expecting to win these early matches because I am just forcing something that I shouldn't be doing, but like I said, I really wanted to put this video together for the channel and for everyone to see, because I know you've probably been attacked by this comp once or twice while playing. Now, I finally looked at what the Mirage trait was, and it wasn't one that I was specifically excited about using, so I decided to switch over from using Leona as my main tank to thinking Cavalier Swiftshots as really the main part of my build, with Yone just serving as a Swiftshot. And I know this is an absolute mess right now because I started with a Sejuani with a Sunfire Cape, took it off, put it onto a Leona. Now I have two Sejuanis back, so I could have now had a 2-star Sejuani with a Sunfire Cape up front, but instead I'm having to basically start over from the beginning after I change concepts. Now, hear me out on my insanity here. I decide to go ahead and pick up the bow to make the rapid fire cannon on Yone. The reason is because Swiftshot gives him an additional 2. This will now give him an additional 3 spaces, and he's more likely to be able to stay completely in the back line with the rest of my Swiftshots. And this has really been the story of me trying to do this video for you all. I run into another Swiftshot Yone team who's got the 2-star Yone, so they're able to easily beat me. But I am not going to be that easily dissuaded. I've picked up a Nunu because that will tick Mirage and also give me Cavalier, and then I go ahead and grab the Cavalier Heart so that Nunu and Sejuani will be tankier, and it'll also give me a Rel for down the line. I really need to get that 2-star Yone or else I'm going to be in trouble, but I'm going to assume I'm going to get it, give him the Infinity Edge, and allow him to do as much damage as possible. So you may think I'm crazy stacking rapid fire cannon on top of Swiftshot, but this is why I did it. Yone does not have to move. He can stand still and then critically hit everything and actually get a win. For items in some way, I already have exactly what I want, although I do want a healing augment so that Yone will be able to heal a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and grab the bow because that can work into a couple of different Xayah items when I ultimately get her. And I did manage to find a gold 3-star Ezreal, but I'm not quite sure exactly what to do with him yet. Right now, this is really hopefully going to survive on the Cavaliers and Yone doing the most damage, but it's not looking good at the moment. And Cavalier Swiftshot team meet Cavalier Swiftshot team. But these are the types of teams that I'm actually going to be able to excel against. I have enough Swiftshots that I'm picking up good amounts of attack speed, and Yone is able to do a lot of damage. As you can see, it ultimately closes in, with Yone leading the damage charts by a lot. It's time for the final augment, and I really wanted like Thrill of the Hunt or Celestial Blessing or some type of healing, but instead, Swiftshot Heart. This will work because I'll be able to get up to the 5 Swiftshots eventually and still get a warrior into the game so that Yone's attacks are even stronger. And I have left very little room for error at this point. With 8 health left, we can only survive 2 losses in this round, and then it goes to 6 once we get to stage 8. So I need to make sure we just keep on winning right now. Luckily, Yone is carrying. It's Treasure Dragon time, and I don't even really know what I want, but I hope I'll know it when I see it. And I see it. The enhanced blue buff will be really good for a gold Ezreal. This will allow him to cast and stack his attacks much faster, doing more damage and hopefully helping the team win. He has a very low threshold, and he's going to be doing an immense amount of magic damage as he's casting faster and faster. Since he's also a 3-star champion, we can go ahead and load the Deathblade on him and then the Runaan's Hurricane, so he's hitting multiple targets, which leaves us just with a Sunfire Cape that can go on Nunu, because Nunu is getting the advantage of the Mirage trait. And you'll notice I'm following my basic rules of my guild Swiftshot build. I'm keeping my 2 powerhouse Swiftshots, which in this case are Ezreal and Yone, on opposite sides of the board. The NPC was a 3-item monster. I got a Bloodthirster, Dragon's Claw, and Deathblade, so I decided to go with more tankiness for my front line and grab the Ionic Spark. We're going to stack this and the Dragon's Claw onto Nunu, and then for now, the Bloodthirster and Rageblade onto Varus. We're hoping to get a 2-star Xayah at some point, and we can bring her in. I've also locked for the 2-star Olaf because I want to get another warrior in, because with warrior buff, that will make Yone's attacks just extra strong, as every other attack approximately he'll be doing additional damage. I set up my board for maximum protection with my Cavaliers right in front of my Swiftshots, so they'll charge forward and then hold things in place. We are now facing our mortal enemy, which is the Guardian Swiftshot team with also a Swiftshot Yone. We barely managed to get through it, but we do come out the winner. And with that victory over our arch nemesis, we are into the top 4. And after all that time of saving up Olafs, it doesn't matter, I got a Yasuo, and so he's going to go into the game instead of Olaf. We silvered up our Xayah during the NPC round, so we're going to be saying goodbye to Varus after this, so I'm looking for another damage item. Giant Slayer will do the trick perfectly. Say goodbye to Varus, we're going to put Xayah in his place and just load her up with damage items. First team we are to face is a Mirage Cavalier team with some warrior built in, and it just isn't going to work. Mainly those Deja items are just not going to make her strong enough to really do the damage she needs, and so ultimately our team's able to wipe them out. It's now down to a 1v1 against a different Mirage warrior team. So that seems to have made a lot into the top 4. I'm more used to seeing the Cavalier Guild Swiftshot builds and multiples of them, but this time it was Mirage Warriors that came in over and over. Again, I'm set up for maximum protection. I want my Cavaliers to just rush out, jam everything in front, and then allow my Swiftshots the room to do what they need to do. I'm keeping them, again, separated so that once one side of the board wipes out, the other side is going to pick up speed. It's fairly easy for us to get through them this first time. I check in between rounds and notice they have now 2-starred the Yasuo. That could present a problem. If that Yasuo comes in and ends up knocking up either one of my set of swift shots, it could derail the entire team. They've switched their Deja over to the opposite side. Right now, I haven't changed anything because I need to see how this is going to play out. This could play to my advantage as Yone is now going to have more distance on doing the attacks, but Yasuo wipes out the right side of my board, and then their Yone with a rapid fire cannon is able to come in and finish us off. I roll to try to find a 2-star Yasuo of my own, but there's no such luck, so my only chance here is to change things up just a little bit. I decide to separate Xayah from Ezreal so that if they do wipe something out, it's not going to be both sides of my attacks. Again, I'm still keeping my Cavaliers directly in front of my swift shots, but now I faced Xayah directly across from Deja, so if we can break through and if their Yasuo wipes out my right side, the left side is going to be incredibly strong. And as you can see, this kind of did the trick. It allowed us to get through and ultimately win. It goes without saying, please don't force this. I wanted to do it for the channel because I thought it was a fun build to see. Hope you enjoyed it and have an absolutely awesome day.